Welcome to another Tech Articles. In today's article, I'm going to look at a solution or one solution to a question that was posed to me by one of the Flowmattic Facebook group members in a conversation we were having earlier this week. They asked a question that piqued my interest, and I thought, well, let's see what I can do about it. So the question they asked was, have I had any experience in using an abandoned cart workflow with Flowmattic? The answer to that question before they asked that question, no. Since I have been working on a little bit of a solution and a test how to do that. And what spurred me on in that is recently you would have seen my videos on Flowmattic's new email editor, manager, builder, whatever you want to call it. And actually, it presents a real opportunity for this sort of workflow. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with abandoned cart workflows, we'll head over here to an image I've got ChatGPT to generate for me based on some information. And there is different schools of thought here about how this will work, how this should work, the timings of this. Really, the timings of this need to be A/B tested, and you need to get a workflow. And this isn't a polished video. Follow along, and you're going to have a working item at the end. You will. I just can't guarantee it'll work great. This is not huge amounts of work. This isn't ready to go. This isn't ready rolled, so to speak. This is a work in progress and some ideas. So I wanted to work out how to do these key different items in WooCommerce, and we will go through a flow later. And I'm going to show you that flow. We're going to go straight to that flow in a minute before we talk more about abandoned cart workflows. And there's key items in here that we need to look at. So first of all, we need a trigger for an abandoned cart. I was quite shocked to find out that, as far as I can see in any of the docs and any of my research, there is no native WooCommerce abandoned cart trigger or action hook, which I found quite surprising. So all of the abandoned cart plugins must have their own versions of that. Now, for me, I've come up with a solution to do that, and I will share the code of that. I'll put it in the article. As I say, it works. It definitely works. It definitely sends an email, but it isn't a ready baked solution. You might need to modify it. You could use ChatGPT to do that, to refine how it works, etc. But for proof of concept, it can be done. So we need to have our trigger. We need to send an email, which we can definitely do in Flowmattic. And as I said, it gave me an opportunity to use the email builder. And the other thing that we need to do here is generate a discount code. And I thought, well, actually, that is enough to give me a video and something to run through. So I built a flow based on those items. So if we head over to our Flowmattic instance, and this is what we're going to go through today and build. So we're going to use a plugin or WP action hook to hook into some custom code, which I've got into WP Codebox here, and we'll go through that later. Then we're going to loop through an array, and all this array is looping through is getting through our products. Then we're going to add a day to it. Then we're going to create a coupon that's set to expire 1 day from today. And then we're going to send it via our email template, which I've already built here, that has data included on it. I don't know what just happened there. It just failed to load. So here we go. I've built a template. It's just a header image, some headings, some code, and some custom data to put in at later. So down here we've got a discount code, and in here up here we've got our products, and they are in our data array ready to use in our generation. So I'm going to go back and talk a little bit more about abandoned co-ops and the workflows, etc. So I found this image on bolt.com, which actually I think is relatively useful, and it shows you the process, and they again suggest A/B testing. And we are going to fast forward through this in our workflow. We're not going to do that. And I have put some notes in the workflow in WP Codebox up here about duplicating it for 72 hours to 48-hour follow-ups. But currently it just does an immediate 1 minute follow-up because that's what it's set to down in the code. And then it follows up, with a 24 hours follow-up for for then, and then it does a 48-hour follow-up cron for you. But you can actually add others if you wanted to and change them, and it explains how to do that. But as I say, this isn't a fully working solution. This is a rough and ready way that you can hook into abandoned to prove that an abandoned cart has happened. And the way I've done that is I'm checking for abandoned carts using cart hashes. So if a cart hash exists for a user and they don't check out, it will then send them a follow-up. So we'll go through the code later, but basically we set transients, and down here you'll see I've got it set to a minute. So within a minute we'll get an email telling us that we've abandoned our cart. The reality is, in the version that will be on tech articles, it'll be 30 minutes, maybe even an hour, maybe it'll be 60 times a minute in seconds, or maybe I'll just do an hour. But yeah, you can see originally I had it at 30 minutes because a lot of the guidance I read actually says 30 minutes is probably right for an abandoned cart, not the 60 minutes that are being carted elsewhere. So I started with that as my build. So we'll send our first email, and in our case we are going to send these two together from our ChatGPT generated stuff here. We're going to send one email, but it's going to immediately have a discount. And the reason for that is because I didn't want to build out a full workflow with delays and sending, because that's difficult to showcase in a video. No one's going to watch a video for 72 hours while we do it, or we could maybe do it so that it sends each one a few minutes after the other. But I didn't see the point of that. Really, there's steps of this that you want to understand: creating an email, sending an email, generating a discount code, pulling out the products that were in there for the. I'll give you the components, not necessarily the full workflow. So we've done that in that case, and this is a image of how this flow works. So what will happen here is we've gone over to our workflow and I've talked through some of this, but we're looping through our cart items. We're storing them with a new line break on the end so that we can put them in here. Now, Natin told me today actually that they are looking to add some additional support to the email builder. That probably means in the future that won't be necessary, but currently that's how we're doing it. Then we finish processing our items, then we add a day to the current date, then we create a coupon for a single day that gives 5% off on that cart, and then we send that email. And we use our template from our email template, which we'll go through in a second. It adds the products in, as you can see here, test and test 2, and then it generates a 5% discount code of a random key plus their username. So that's it, and I'm not going to go through the code too much because I don't want this video to be too long, but realistically all that we do here is check for cart hashes, and if they've not been fired and they're not in the cron list, then we'll fire them. It's crude. This is more proof of concept than a ready-made solution. There possibly is a plugin that will add a hook for you to hook into. I didn't look. I found out that WooCommerce didn't have one and thought, well, I need to build something that will trigger this workflow off. So that's what I've done. And it goes through and loads our crons and schedules them in so that we can build out our workflow. And then at the end, it cleans up. So I'm going to head straight over to Flowmattic and show you how this works. So the plugin or WordPress action is on my abandoned cart workflow step 1. And if we go over here, step 1 is down here somewhere. As an action hook is down here somewhere. It's just step 1. There you go. Do action, payload. So what we're going to do here is it will be triggered on this action here. So this is sets our first follow-up and schedules the next one, the 24-hour check. So that's it. That's ready to go then and run, and that will trigger our workflow. So that's when we now know we have an abandoned cart. And what that looks like when it comes through is like this. We get the user ID, the email address, their role, session ID, abandoned at, IP address, user agents, all the items in their cart, which we will do something with in a second. Their cart subtitle, any discount codes they're using, cart type, tax, shipping, total, any of the coupons that they're using, any fees, shipping methods, the currency, and the landing page they came from, as well as their UTM sources. And the reason that I've captured so much data is because you might not want to offer a discount code if they're already using a coupon code. It's no point offering them a 5% discount on their cart that can only be used on that cart if they're already using a 10% discount code you've put somewhere else. So you might want to put a option into your workflow. So as an example down here, you might actually want to change it into a router and do route 1 here if there is no coupon code, if there is coupon codes, etc., etc. So that's why there's so much data there, because the idea here is that this is your foundation to build off of and what you can do and how it can work. So the next thing we do is then we loop through our array, and this is really simple. This is a standard array loop, and what we're going to go through is those items in our shopping cart. So that is what we're going through, and what we're going to do then in our loop through is we store our string, and our string is we just want the product name and a new line marker after the end so that they're nicely in a list. You could also add quantity in here if you wanted, but I didn't want to. I thought it'd make it look a little bit crowded. Now, as I've said before, and I will always say, you don't have to end an iterator if it's the only thing you're doing. But in this case, it's not the only thing you're doing. Without an end of iteration, your code will not run properly. So we have to end our iterator to stop it looping through these items. The next thing we need to do is add our time. Flowmattic has a great set of time tools, and I've used them here. So we've got our time it was abandoned at. I've added a day to it. The format that it comes in is in this format, but I want it in this format. And the reason I want it in this format is because this is the format that WooCommerce is going to use. So I've set the incoming abandon at date from up here. I've added a day to it, and it's going to convert the time to a time that WooCommerce can use. So that's really easy. And if we go through to show you this tells you what's going in. If we test this action, you'll see that we get an output date of a normal day. And now we go to create coupon. This is a standard flowmattic integration option that is already available to you. If you've got the WooCommerce installation, you can already create a coupon, but we want to do something a little bit different here. We need to create a coupon code, and the way I've done that is putting a 10 string random string in. You might want to do something different, and their email address. This just means that we know it's unique. The coupon description, I've used cart abandonment coupon and the user's email. I've offered it as a percentage discount, in this case 5%. The expiry date is the time that we generated up here. And I've created it to limit it to only this user, so they can't generate it and use it. And this, if you're an AppSumo user, this is very similar to what AppSumo do. Every so often you'll get a cart abandonment email with a discount code. We're doing exactly the same thing. We've limited it to 1 use per coupon, and we've also limited it to the person. So there's a single use available to us, and the person can only use it. And there's other options here, but in this case, I don't think they were needed. You could also allow free shipping if that was what you wanted to do for the coupon code. So maybe you don't want to offer a discount. Like I said earlier, maybe you want to have a router, and if they're already using a discount code, maybe you want to offer free shipping. And if they're not already using a discount code, maybe you want to offer them 5%. You can do that. And this video is not about necessarily showing you how to do your abandoned cart. It's just showing you all of the little bits and pieces that you can put in that are really useful. And that's how that works there. So we've generated our coupon. The next thing we do is we send our template email. And this is the best video to watch for setting up Flowmattic email templates is the one where I actually build a template, and then following in that there is another one on the channel about sending a template. And in this case, it is going by my WP default, going from my test name, going to the email address that we get from this action here. My email subject is, did you forget something? Email template I'm using is cart discount, and got 2 amounts of product data available to me for dynamic data here, and that is the products list that we generate through our iterator here, and the coupon code that we generate here. and then that sends that email. And that email is based on this template. So in this template, we have a header image that's just uploaded onto the site. Hey, did you forget something? Did still not made your mind up? Let's help you decide on. And then down here we have the products, and this will iterate down our list of products. And the 5% discount coupon is good till tomorrow midnight. And then we get our discount generation here. So it's all unique, but it allows us to build a nice looking template. And this template is very basic. There are some very good examples generated online. But I just wanted to show you that actually now Flowmattic has an email template system. Using it for these sort of workflows is really easy, and it's going to only get better. So we've got that here, and that's then sent. And if we head back over to our workflow, we've now sent that email. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload this page so that I don't save any of the routers that we added in, and it's running in place. So what I'm going to do now is I've got a little button up here to reset my cart hash, and I'm going to push it. And what that will do now is add a cron to our workflow, and with a bit of luck, we should get an email in a few seconds here with our template in. And the reason for that is because if we go to the store on this site, you'll see I have 2 items in my cart. I have test and test 2, and it should tell me that I've abandoned this cart. So let me just pause this video while it does the trigger and sends it to me. So you can see here, my email is about 30 seconds away. It's timing down on the cron, and if I reload this page, it must be close now. It's 16 seconds away. I will get this email any second now, and it will come through into the email on the next cron run. 4 seconds, and there you go. It's going to run any second now. So subject to the email delivery actually coming through in real time, we should have our email. Reload this one more time. It's gone now, and our email is in. And you'll see here from your web form, did you forget something? And this is the email we designed in Flowmattic. So it's got our header. If we go to our email turn, it's got our header. Did you forget something? Still not made up your mind. And if we go back to the email, did you forget something? Still not made your mind up. Let's help you decide on test and test 2, which are the products that are actually in my basket. And it says this 5% discount code is good till tomorrow midnight. And if we look at this discount code, it ends in X5 and then automation at wpcode.dev. And if we go back to our site, let me open this one, and we go to WooCommerce and coupons, you will see there's lots of coupons being generated here, but it's the 3rd of May today. There's one here for the 4th of May that offers a 5% discount that is exactly what we just did. X5 automation at wpcode.dev. And there it is. It's a single use limit as we set, and it's been automatically generated by our process. Now, as I said, I will put the code available on tech articles, including some bits and pieces in the article. But this isn't a ready baked solution. This is to show you that the tools are out there and how you can, with a little bit of code and a little bit of changing, trigger all sorts of things in Flowmattic, and using the email designer, build your own abandoned cart solution. If anybody does know of a plugin that adds a trigger automatically to WooCommerce without needing to be a premium plugin, so it's got a new trigger that we could then hook into as an action hook into Flowmattic, please do put it in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.